When you step into your 60s, something subtle yet profound takes place inside you. The world outside may look the same. Your neighborhood streets, the family photographs on the wall, even the rhythm of your days. But your perspective changes. Suddenly, you begin to notice truths that your younger self either ignored, postponed, or thought could wait for another time. The illusions of permanence begin to fade. The careers that once defined you no longer carry the same weight. The social approval you once sought now feels less urgent. And even the family roles you leaned on for identity cannot shield you from the deeper realities of aging. At this stage of life, the foundations that truly hold you steady are not what others provide, but what you build for yourself. Family is a blessing. Yes, children, siblings, or even a devoted spouse can be sources of love. But when the nights grow long, when illness knocks on the door, or when loneliness whispers in the quiet, it is rarely family alone that keeps you grounded. Instead, it is the pillars you choose to strengthen: health, peace, purpose, friendships, finances, and spirit. Today, let us walk through these pillars one by one, not as theories, but as living truths that can shape your 60s and beyond. Pillar 1, health, your true foundation. By the time you reach 60, health is no longer an option on your to-do list. It becomes the very lens through which life is experienced. Imagine this. You could live in a brownstone in Boston, have $3,000 arriving in your bank account each month from retirement savings, see your grandchildren thriving in California, and be respected in your community. But if your heart strains with every step or your joints scream in pain, none of that joy can be fully absorbed. Your body is not a family heirloom you can pass on. You cannot delegate your fatigue to a son or hire someone else to breathe for you when your lungs weaken. Every decision you made in earlier decades, those late-night burgers in your 20s, the relentless overtime in your 40s, the stress you carried silently in your 50s, now echoes back. And those echoes do not whisper, they roar. Yet here lies the hope. The body has a remarkable ability to forgive when treated with respect. Healing does not always come from dramatic medical interventions. Often, it comes from the simplest rituals of daily living. Picture a slow morning walk through Golden Gate Park, the sunlight breaking through the trees as you breathe deeply. Imagine sipping a full glass of water before your first cup of coffee, giving your body the hydration it craves. Feel the relief of gentle stretching before you climb into bed at night, releasing the day's tension. These acts are not trivial. They are survival strategies, lifelines that reconnect you with vitality. At this age, food stops being about waistlines or summer seasons. It becomes medicine disguised as nourishment. Dark leafy greens, colorful berries, clean proteins like fish or chicken, even the humble bowl of oatmeal. These foods rebuild what years of neglect may have eroded. Hydration becomes less about quenching thirst and more about keeping the engine of your body oiled and functioning. But health is not only physical, the truth becomes undeniable with age. Emotions carve pathways into the body. Worry stiffens your chest. Bitterness hunches your shoulders, and unspoken grief steals your sleep. The body listens, always. Think of the decades you may have spent giving, raising children in Denver, caring for a sick spouse in Atlanta, showing up for aging parents in Ohio. Those seasons were noble, but now, in your 60s, it is time to return to yourself. Your energy is sacred. Protect it. Treat your body like the only house you will ever live in, because that is exactly what it is. If you believe your health is your greatest wealth, type number 1 in the comments below. Pillar 2, peace, protecting your mental sanctuary. There comes a moment when the world's noise loses its grip. In your 40s, perhaps you thrived on schedules packed with meetings, carpool pickups, and constant deadlines. In your 50s, recognition may have mattered. Titles, applause, respect from peers. But when you reach your 60s, What you begin to crave above all else is peace. Do not mistake peace for idleness. Peace is not about abandoning life, it is about reclaiming it. True peace is wisdom. It is the understanding that mental calm is no luxury. It is survival itself. Studies have shown stress can accelerate aging more than the passage of time. That chronic anxiety leaves deeper scars than wrinkles. That emotional chaos weighs more heavily than any physical burden. Protecting peace means becoming a guardian of your own mental sanctuary. It means learning that not every phone call must be answered. Not every invitation deserves a yes, and not every opinion needs space in your mind. Letting go is not surrender, it is courage. It is choosing sanity over chaos, calm over crisis. As you move through this chapter, recognize that not everyone who began your journey deserves to remain in it. A cousin in Detroit who manipulates, a longtime friend in Houston who drains your joy, a social circle that gossips more than they uplift. These do not belong in the sacred years ahead. Peace is pruning, and in pruning, you create room for growth. Peace is not about achieving perfection. It is about saying no without apology, about finding balance instead of burning out, about being fully present rather than endlessly performing. If you value peace more than noise at this stage of life, give this video a like so more people can hear this message. Pillar 3, Purpose, the fire that never expires. One of the most damaging myths about aging is that purpose fades once you hit retirement. Nothing could be further from the truth. Purpose does not retire. It evolves. In your 20s, purpose might have burned brightly through ambition, building a home in Chicago, chasing promotions in Manhattan, proving yourself in crowded rooms. In your 40s, it might have been tied to raising children or keeping a household afloat. But in your 60s, purpose transforms. It shifts from proving to expressing, from climbing to contributing. Purpose at this stage often looks quieter yet deeper. It can be found in mentoring a younger neighbor, volunteering at the local library in Kansas City, tending a community garden in Seattle, or offering simple kindness in everyday interactions. Purpose can be as grand as founding a charity or as gentle as listening with patience to someone who feels unseen. The spark of purpose is not about what the world demands. It is about what your soul still longs to give. And though your energy may not be what it was at 30, your wisdom has never been richer. Purpose is not lost with age, it matures with you. Share in the comments. What gives your life purpose today? One word or one sentence is enough. Pillar 4, Friendships, the family you choose. By 60, life has likely revealed a difficult truth. Blood may connect, but it does not always protect. DNA is no guarantee of loyalty. Friends, however, are the family you get to choose. They are the ones who sit quietly beside you when grief is too heavy for words, who cheer your victories without envy, who show up not because they must, but because they want to. In this season, it is no longer about how many people gather at your birthday table. It is about whether those present truly care. Often, the deepest friendships are not from youth but from later years. A kind neighbor in Phoenix who checks in after a storm, a walking companion in Portland who shares your pace, a fellow churchgoer in Atlanta who prays with you in hardship. These are not just acquaintances. They are chosen kin. What matters is not the length of time you've known someone, but the depth of connection they offer. These bonds, freely chosen and mutually nurtured, become the anchors of resilience in later years. Pillar 5, Finances, the freedom of independence. There is a kind of freedom that cannot be purchased at any store. It comes only when your bills are covered, your needs are met, and your dignity is intact. That freedom is called financial independence. In your 60s, financial independence is not about being a millionaire. It is about security, choice, and the ability to live without fear of dependency. It means being able to walk away from disrespect at work or within family because your survival is not at their mercy. It means resting when your body demands it, not just when society grants permission. True independence does not require excess. It requires wisdom. It requires learning how to live within your means, avoiding unnecessary debt, and making choices that prioritize freedom over appearance. When you are no longer financially tied to your children, siblings, or even institutions, you gain something money cannot buy: dignity. Pillar 6, spirit, the anchor that holds you steady. Finally, beyond health, peace, purpose, friendships, and finances, there is the spirit. Spiritual strength is not limited to one religion. It is the quiet dialogue between your soul and something greater. However you define it, it might be God, the universe, or the mystery of life itself. Spirit is what steadies you when storms rage, what roots you when the ground feels shaky. When you practice gratitude each morning, when you trust that hardships carry hidden lessons, when you surrender the illusion of control, you find yourself anchored. Gratitude softens fear. Faith disarms anxiety. Stillness silences chaos. Spirit transforms aging from a story of decline into a story of depth. With a strong spirit, every wrinkle becomes a chapter, every year a teacher. Final reflection: stepping into your 60s is not an ending, but a refining. It is not about losing, but about deepening. The stage lights that once shone on career achievements or family obligations now illuminate something truer. The pillars that sustain your life: health, peace, purpose, friendships, finances, and spirit. These are not optional. They are the architecture of joy, freedom, and dignity. Build them strong, and you will not merely age, you will thrive. So pause for a moment and reflect. Which of these pillars in your life are strong, and which need more attention? The beauty is, it is never too late to reinforce your foundation. If this message resonates with you, please like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe so you never miss the wisdom we bring each week. Because beyond 60, the support that carries you is not always family. It is the pillars you choose to stand on.